Hello, welcome to the CEO dg&la YouTube channel.
In this video, we'll be discussing about one of the Leetcode weekly contest solutions. So here goes our problem statement. So it is finding the greatest common divisor of an array and it is of easy level. So here is the problem. Given an integer array called nums, we need to return the greatest common divisor of the smallest number and the largest number of nums. So as we all know, the greatest common divisor, which is also called the HCF, of two numbers, we need to just write down the common factors like the common divisors and getting the greatest common divisor among those two. So that is how we usually or basically do the GCD of two numbers as we learned in our school. But now we'll be discussing how we can write the same in the form of code. So let's see some examples now. So here is a first example. So the input given is nums equals to an array of integers, that is 2, 5, 6, 9 and 10. So the output will be 2. As mentioned in the problem statement, we need to take two numbers, that is the smallest number here, that is 2, and the largest number, that is 10. So the GCD of 2 and 10 will be 2 itself, because the common divisors between 2 and 10 are only for suppose if we take the common divisors, here we have 1 and 2 for 2 and 1, 2, five and 10. So these are the divisors of 2 and 10, and the common ones will be only 1 and 2, which means that 1 into 2 will be 2 itself. So the output must be 2. So that is how we usually do the GCD of 2 and 10, or basically two numbers. And we'll be seeing the code of this soon. Let's see some more examples now. So here is one more example, that is taking an array nums 7, 5, 6, 8 and 3, and the output will be 1. So again we need to consider the smallest number, that is 3, and the largest one, that is 8. So here 3 and 8 both don't have a common divisor in common other than the 1. So the answer or the output will be 1 itself. Now let's see one more example. So here is the example 3. We have again the nums, but now the third case is when we have both the same numbers. So 3 and 3 we have both the same numbers, and the smallest and largest will be the same, that is 3 itself. So whenever we have the same number, the GCD will also be the same number. So it must return 3 itself. So that is how the numbers and the output and input goes. Now let's look at some constraints. So here we have nums.length, which means the length of the array. It lies between only 2 and 1000, which means it doesn't exceed 1000 or doesn't decrease less than 2. So the minimum is 2 and the maximum is 1000. And coming to the integer, which means the numbers within the array, they will be between 1 and 1000. So these can be used to clear the edge cases or the corner cases. We need to keep these in mind whenever we are solving any type of coding problem. So now let's look at the final solution. So in Python, here is the simplest solution using the functions. And one thing we need to definitely do is importing the math library. So in Python, the math library is something which is very useful to do all the functions, like using the default library functions like min, max, GCD, all the trigonometrical functions, everything else. We can just import the math library and do and use these functions. Here we can see two more statements before going to the code. So these are class, that is and the function. So these two statements will be given in Leetcode by default, so we don't have to worry about these. And now the solution goes like this. First we'll be taking the minimum of the array, that is nums as given. We'll be storing the minimum of the array integer in s. So this will be our variable. And next we'll be taking the maximum, that is the largest number, and we'll be storing it in L. So we'll get S and L, the both numbers. And now we just have to do is return GCD of both S and L. So what it does is the internally it actually implements the GCD function. So there the actual all the thing which we have gone through in the example, that happens how the GCD function takes place. So that is internally done. So we don't have to again think of that. Whenever we use the math library, we can just import the GCD function. We just have to return GCD of S and L, and it gives the exact answer which we want. And all the test cases like corner case or edge cases will be cleared using just 3 lines of code, that is SL and returning of GCD of S and L. This is the simplest solution in Python. I hope you understood the solution, and if you would like to give some suggestions or if you have any doubts, you can just comment in the comment section below. Hope you like the video. Happy coding.
Dhanyavad. Thank you. If you like this video, do like, subscribe and share. See you in the next one. Bye bye.